I just want to do an introduction for my video. Um, this video ended up being shot over a couple different time periods for a couple reasons. One, our PLC time is not that long, and we have to make sure that we cover the issues that we have to cover every day. And I know that in one time when I was shooting it, the bell went off, so then you couldn't hear anything I was saying. And on a different one, a student came into the room that I had to help. So anyway, so there's going to be some editing in there. I want to make sure that I get all the important stuff from the presentation, but especially on one of them, there was a lot of really good quality questions from the staff, and I want to make sure I get those included in there. So just so you're aware, there's going to be times where the editing, but everything's going to flow chronologically through the PowerPoint. I'll share the PowerPoint with this when I upload it as well. So I just want to make sure you know that I had to do some editing because of unforeseen circumstances and for time. All right, thank you, and please enjoy the presentation. This is my presentation for my master's degree program, for my research classes on the after-school program here at the middle school in Medford, which we call Ninth Hour. All right, so why did I choose that? Well, the question was, why do we not have an after-school program at our middle school? And part of that comes from this. It's we call it CLC, our Community Learning Center. We have them at our two elementaries, and they are unbelievably popular. There are huge amounts of kids there. My kids have gone there. I know a lot of other staff members' kids have gone there. And on any given day, there could be 50 kids at the Medford one. And I've never actually gone to the Stetsonville one, but I know they have an after-school program there as well. So what's my question? I want to analyze the academic and social benefits of an after-school program, of after-school programs. So I laid out this research in 3 steps, 3 phases really. So 1, research after-school programs, okay? What's out there? What's it look like? How are they set up? This is really the structure. How could I set up an after-school program so it would be successful here in Medford? Step 2, what are the benefits? Why should we do this? You know, if we're going to set up an after-school program, the question is going to be, well, why? This is going to answer the why, hopefully. And then 3, analyze the data from our school and from other reasons and develop other resources and develop an after-school program for our district. So really the last one is put all this stuff together and make one for Medford. So I had numerous sources, 10 plus books, and I found more books, but there's some that I didn't get just because they were so dated. You know, finding a book from the 80s is probably not going to be helpful for a after-school program today. Online though, this is the real big online source, NAWEB, National After School Association. There's everything in here. If anybody asked me how should you start, I would start with NAWEB. It'll give you some ideas. It also, for smaller districts, it can provide funding. And they have a huge thing just on STEM. And I know STEM is a big thing in education right now. And it has pre-made lessons and plans and activities you can do with kids after school. Because it's nice to have those things that get them excited to draw them into the after-school program to keep it going. So NAWEB is a big one, and you can get lost in here, man. There's hours and hours of time in there. Okay, so I also interviewed some people, especially some of our staff at the elementary who have been working with our CLC program for years, decades, and tried to figure out what works, what didn't work, try to make sure I learn from mistakes so we're not repeating the same mistakes. But some specific research, here's one, The Principal's Guide to After-School Programs, K-8, Extending Students' Learning Opportunities. This is where I would tell you to go first as a book. It's not too old, 2008, but it's really kind of one-stop shopping. What could it look like? What could you offer? Why should you do it? This is really a great resource, and anybody doing an after-school program, I would direct them to this first. Another book, Building Effective After-School Programs. This one's a little bit dated, but it's still got some good stuff. Um, especially talks about getting buy-in, getting parents involved, getting community involved. And we've actually had some community members get involved with our after-school program, which is helpful. And it's nice that they care about that stuff. But we've also had some community outreach from our after-school program, and I'll show you that in a little bit. But it just gives you some more ideas on what you can do. Now this one is one of the most modern ones, 2017. So after-school programs to promote positive youth development. Integrating research into practice and policy, volume 1, and there's numerous volumes. But I really like this one because it really covers the why. Why should we do this? Well, positive youth development. You're getting kids to, instead of doing it because they're supposed to do it, they're doing it because they should do it, because it's good for them. You know, getting good grades is important because it's going to help me later in life in this and this and this. So it's kind of building those connections and trying to ingrain that into a student, which for reaching troubled students is obviously very important. There's other books, Lead the Way, A Place to Call Home. This is an urban youth one, so this one didn't really pertain to us because Medford's a population of about 4,300. Fifth Dimension, based on diversity, well, Medford is pretty non-diverse. I think our percentages were high 80 percentile for Caucasian student population. So links to learning, another few good things. Promoting academic and school competence and after-school program or social competence. So this one's kind of focused on trying to get the lowest academic kids up, but also working on social skills, which we're going to get to later. I have some things where we work on that. All right, I also offered up a survey to some of our students. Are you interested in an organized after-school program at the Medford Area Middle School? And got to ask people that. I really liked our feedback. 36% of students said they would participate, 50% are interested, and only 14 said I don't want to do that. What do they want? Sports and athletics. And actually, this is the one thing that is keeping our after-school program from growing, is because there are so many students in athletics. Like right now, the season is right now, we get almost no 7th or 8th graders in our 9th hour program because they're almost all in basketball. But some of these are interesting. 45% with like a quiet area or a place just to work. Clubs and activities, and those have been generally the most popular that we've offered. And then academic help, which falls under our guided study hall, which we offer all the time. So now this is a student one that I asked them questions. And here's some of the responses. So once again, the first one was early on last year, and then this one is this year. So I got a lot more student participation, and I also got some parents involved. So the parent survey, they want it, willing to help out, almost 50%, and half our staff are willing to help out in working in the after-school program. Because that's important. We wanted to have licensed teachers working in the after-school program. So the community and parents, though, almost 73% of the community and parents want an after-school program, and 27% was undecided. And the people that I talked to, that I said, well, why did you pick undecided? Well, they're like, I don't know what it looks like yet. I don't know if I like something if I don't know what it is. And 0 said they had no interest. So that was good. So what's our research show, at least on the local level? Our community wants an after-school program, and our kids are willing to participate in it. And why are they beneficial to our students? Well, academic help, especially the guided study hall, and then behaviorally, working on social issues. I've worked with students just on things as basic as physical hygiene. You know, you're a little bit smelly. This is something that we have to work on, and you get a rapport with that student so you can bring that subject up with them and they're not offended by it. Okay, so this I liked. I started questioning students that were coming to 9th hour. Why are you coming? No one's at home. I'd rather hang out with people at school. So I like this. They don't want to be home alone. They want to be here with people that care about them. I get to play games and do fun things. That's why they come to Ninth Hour. And I can spend time with my friends. So pretty much all of this is social, which is good. We need to have kids that are socially interactive. So how does it affect us as a staff? Well, we get more time with our students. We can make more connections. We can have those conversations. We can find out what's going on at home, what's going on with them, and better serve them. Then we can obviously help students that are behind. And what is really great about our guided study hall after school is all of our teachers know about it now. And they'll go up to kids and say, hey, you're kind of missing a handful of assignments for me. Maybe you can stay after in Ninth Hour guided study hall one day this week. Hold on. We've had staff members that have talked to students who are missing work and say, hey, why don't you come to Ninth Hour today and we'll get you caught up in all these assignments. And students will do it. Students will come in that have missed some time and they can get caught up almost completely in one night. So that's awesome. And we can talk to students about non-academic stuff in a non-academic role and setting. So like I've talked to students about just behavior. We had a student who was treating female teachers with much less respect than he was treating male teachers. And I got to talk to him about that, and he didn't really understand. And then by talking to him, he kind of realized, yeah, I guess I am doing that. So that's something we have to work on. Physical hygiene is something we've worked on. You don't want to have middle schoolers that are smelly. So, Ninth Hour stuff. So, our Ninth Hour, this is actually part of the webpage that's on the middle school page that parents can go to. And actually, since I put this up, we've gotten more and more hits, and I can keep updating it. Some of the offerings we've had for our own after-school program, and they vary throughout the course of the school year. Mr. K is going to offer fitness center after Thanksgiving, so that's a new one coming up. Here's also off of our own webpage. It offers current things, what's coming up, the schedule. So you can see I pulled this off from over a week ago, but everybody can go and look and find out when we're offering things. So the kids really love it. This is actually from last year's cooking class, which my understanding was the second most popular after-school program. So you can see, I think if you involve anything with food, the kids are going to love it. So we got tiki masks, right? So the community service group actually did a big thank you. This is them down at the police department thanking the police officers. They also did one for the fire department. Here is the one that I'm in charge of, Ninth Hour, with the Magic the Gathering kids. And kids have done different things, even in mine, where they get to design their own cards. So here's one they put together. And our program was so popular that they actually asked us to keep doing it over the summer. So this was the flyer we put out. And we ran Magic the Gathering at the public library on Wednesdays. The kids really liked calling it WHAM, so we kept using that as the acronym, Wednesday Afternoon Magic. And we ended up getting, by the end of the day, by the last few days here, we were getting 16 to 20 kids coming into the public library on a Wednesday afternoon. So library loved it. So, and I can have fun doing it, so that's always an upside. So you can see me hanging out in the room there. And I have an interview here, which.
Okay.
Yes.
What do you like most about Ninth Hour?
Things I like most about Ninth Hour is you get to meet different students from different grades and not work with the children that you work with all day long.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello. Hi there. What do you like most about Ninth Hour? Well, first of all, I think it's a great opportunity for students to be able to do something after school if they're not involved in sports or clubs. It gives them something different to choose from. For my personal Ninth Hour choice, the community service, I love that my students are working to thank others and give back to the people who give us a lot here at Bedford. you like most about ninth hour?
Well, ninth hour, we have a study hall, and I enjoy working with the students that come down. And we get our work done for the next day or for the next couple days. And then if we have free time, we play board games and cards, and it's kind of fun at the end. Thank you.
My students, but questions from you guys?
Regarding the ninth,
Ninth hour after-school program or anything you saw? And I can edit all this,
So
so
when
it
you-
looks really good.
when you're looking at your research, because, you know, like I tried to offer a course and you don't get a lot of sign up, what do do they have recommendations of courses that work really well?
Well, a lot of it that I've seen is based on specific areas. Some of the really well, like for number of kids participating, are things outside. Well, we're not gonna be doing things outside with this weather, you know. I mean, it's actually decent day to day, but you know, even some of our mini course stuff, you can't go outside in January, it's brutal. So, I know some of the ideas that were put forth last year that didn't pan out were taking kids as a ninth hour to T-High Golf Course and teaching them how to golf. I think a lot of kids would sign up for that, that'd be fun. I know there was an idea of doing tennis, I think we could get kids to do that. And there
Haley
was
and I
one
had thrown that
idea,
one around, but we just didn't have any gym space, cause the tennis courts were all taken down already.
and the tennis courts in the spring are gonna be in use, aren't they?
Right,
So,
so whenever the weather's good, the tennis team's using them.
you know, I know one that was brought up last year that a lot of kids had interest in, but it just wasn't really feasible. And there was a bit of a safety issue, was kids really wanted to go up to the Civic Center and play hockey. Well, if you're doing it during ninth hour, there's figure skating or hockey practice already, so part of it's just limitation on space. So, a lot of them are just feeding into things that kids already wanna do. Like, there's been a bunch of them I saw in my research were just playing video games. Kids are like, I can stay at school and play video games, but it's, in order to play video games, you gotta do a 30-minute study hall and do your work first. You know, and so it's do this, then you get the carrot, so that's helpful. A lot of the research I found was parents just really happy that they have a place for their kid to go, so you don't have any of these latchkey kids. And when we did the student survey, some kids were like, I'm at home, I'm by myself anyway. If I stay here, I get to hang out with friends or be with people that I know. And,
How does our funding come through?
well, from what the limited info I got on this, Mr. Leonard just said, we're paying for it, do it. I think part of it comes through the elementary CLC, and I know a little bit of it comes from, he talked about with Mr. Gregor and stuff like that, so I'm not quite certain, but he said there's really no issue, just if you have kids, run your program, so. Because we've had people run after-school program with only one or two kids. Generally, they get a little bigger if you build them, but, you know.
Is
So
there,
how do you build them? Should we be advertising out there? And then how do you know, like if you were doing a cooking class, you have to get ingredients for, you know, whatever you're making. How would you plan, Kevin?
So like our cooking class that we ran, kids had to sign up in advance. And there was a drop dead date, they have to sign up by this day, so that way we can buy the ingredients.
Okay,
And that's what it was.
okay.
Like for Mr. K, he, you know, went on the news in the morning. That's one way to do it. I'd say put up flyers. Even putting, you know, sending out a mass email that we can tell, all teachers can tell the kids at one time would be helpful, but just getting it out there. Sending me info to put on the TVs, you know, 'cause they're sitting in the cafeteria, they stare at the TV every once in a while, so it just helps. It's really just getting the word out.
and do they run for 3 weeks? Is that?
They're really as
The
long as
thing-
you want. We started with the 3-week block, but they can do as much as you want. Like, I'm running Magic the rest of the school year. We're just going the rest of the school year.
Okay,
And I know, like, Mrs. Shear did the community service, that went for a little while, and now it's kind of petered out. So I don't think that one lasted a full 3 weeks, but, especially with the holiday season coming up and
Yes.
everything, that's gonna affect it. Like, I told my kids we're not doing Magic next week, because a bunch of them said, I'm not coming anyway, because we're leaving to go on vacation, so. So, yeah, I know for me, the big thing was, it's a lot of research. I usually don't research one topic that in depth, but kind of had to, so. One thing I found that was a problem is finding current data. A lot of the books I was finding was from the early 2000s. So, and you know, it's like fire up the old, you know, dial-up internet kind of thing, and it wasn't pertinent to now. And I also found a lot of after-school programs are actually, the books and stuff, are more elementary level. There's not a ton out there for middle school, and there's almost nothing for high school.
I know Marathon County does,
Well, some of them do them through like the YMCA
after school.
and stuff like that, and Boys and Girls Club. So there's other non-school, related entities that do that.
Well, in the middle school, you start getting all these sports, and there's other
And-
activities, forensics, and whatever
For,
was elementary.
for our
school.
ninth hour, I think that's the biggest challenge is, like right now, we're up against basketball. I've had a bunch of kids that are basketball. I wanna come to Magic, but I got basketball season coming, that's fine. So, we do offer a lot for our kids though, which is pretty proud
If
of.
there ever is the gaming thing, I don't know how you do that with being able to get onto the games or, hearing the computers, whatever that we have, but, I was really surprised that the NTC in Wausau has this year's the first, they're gonna have a varsity and a JV level of, esports.
Esports, yeah.
And so it's
Yeah.
not Fortnite, it's like League of something, there's 3 games that they
Yeah.
compete in. And
They actually, they show live coverage of them on ESPN now.
Yeah, and it's a 3-person game team, and then another game has a 4-person
I
game
know there's like
team.
League
and
of
then-
Legends is a big one, Overwatch is a big one.
Yeah, it's
My daughter
something
loves Overwatch, and
something
she's
with a
actually
car.
pretty good at it, so.
something with a car, with driving.
Yeah, there's.
But, so there's 3 different games that they compete with different schools and stuff, and like they said too, that Wausau West has taken first place for the last 3 years in that League of whatever,
Yeah.
League of Nations, whatever it's called.
I know there's League of Legends is one game.
League of Legends, that's it, and, like their high school, so if that ever were to come to be, maybe to be able to do a game that will feed them into,
Yeah.
their post-secondary,
Well, and there's colleges offering scholarships for e-gaming now.
yes, they said
And,
it's, I mean, there's coaches, they have athletic trainers at the tech that
And if you're
work with
making
them.
onto one of the big teams, I mean, you're making 6 figures a year doing that, so.
Right, so if gaming ever were to come up, maybe our kids, I'm sure we all wanna play Fortnite, but maybe it could be geared towards one of those games that, our post-secondary education might, they could join the E-team and,
And I like picking on Fortnite like everybody else, but they just had that one tournament this last year in New York. The winning kid got $1 million and he was 16. So.
I know, it's really hard to run a career class, let me tell you,
No, I'm just gonna e-game, I'll be fine. So.
oh, I know. that
But yeah, I mean,
so
I think
much.
for especially our kids, I think any kind of video game thing would really pull them in.
Right.
So. And then like with mine, they get to talk to them about winning gracefully, losing gracefully. The importance of deodorant, stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, and then also to, like how they don't have to be so vulgar on there and cuss and swear and pound on the wall, so your mom comes running into your room asking, did you fall and hit your head? And your son says, oh no, I just pounded on the wall.
Just people's social skills. Yeah.
Yeah,
So.
I put it in, my son's pounding on the
Well,
wall.
Very good.